Look at the clock, not the time, the movement, that rhythmic, mechanical heartbeat. It is stealing from you. You feel it, don't you? That tightening in your chest, the phantom weight on your shoulders. You have more appliances, more apps, and more hacks than a medieval king had servants. Yet you are starving. You are suffering from a famine of minutes. In the 1800s, a farmer worked until the sun went down. Then the world turned black. Silence was forced upon him. He didn't have a choice. You have every choice, every convenience, every shortcut, and yet you are the one running. You are the one gasping for air in a schedule that should, by all laws of logic, be empty. You've been told that efficiency is the cure, that if you just optimize one more morning routine, you'll finally catch your breath. They lied to you. Efficiency isn't the exit, it's the cage. The faster you move, the shorter the miles become. You aren't busy because you have too much to do. You are busy because the very tools designed to save your time have actually begun to consume it. And the worst part, you're the one feeding them. Picture a peasant in the year 1300. He smells like damp earth and failure. He works hard, breaking labor, but when the harvest is over, he sits for weeks. He stares at the fire. He isn't checking a feed. He isn't optimizing his leisure. He is just there. Now look at you. You have a machine that washes your clothes, a glass rectangle that delivers food to your door, a car that moves at 80 miles per hour. By every mathematical metric, you should be the most relaxed creature to ever walk the earth. You should be bored to tears, but you aren't. You're vibrating. You're checking your wrist. You're calculating how much you can get done while you wait for the kettle to boil. This is the great deception of the modern age. We were promised a leisure class. Instead, we got a hive mind of frantic squirrels. Why does this matter? Because your brain wasn't built for this speed. Evolution is slow. It takes hundreds of thousands of years to change a circuit in your head, but technology, it moves like a lightning strike. Your brain still thinks it's in a world where things take time. It expects the seasons. It expects the slow walk to the watering hole. Instead, it's being fed a high-speed stream of instant everything. This creates a friction, a heat. That heat is the feeling of being busy. It's the sound of your mental gears grinding because the world is spinning faster than the biological clock inside your skull can track. You think you are busy because you have a lot of tasks. That's a surface-level delusion. You are busy because the very structure of your life has been compressed. In the past, distance was a barrier. Now, distance is gone. In the past, waiting was a requirement. Now, waiting is a failure of the system. We have removed the gaps in life, the moments between things. Those gaps were where your brain used to breathe. Now, those gaps are filled with emails, notifications, and quick checks. We've paved over the garden of our time with concrete tasks, and then we wonder why nothing is growing. We are living in a psychological pressure cooker. Every time, saving device adds another pound of pressure. It's like trying to fit an ocean into a thimble. You keep pouring, but it just spills over, making a mess of your nerves. You aren't failing at time management. You are participating in a game that was rigged from the start, a game where the prize for winning is just more work. But we need to go deeper. We need to look at the gears. We need to understand how the very tools you think are helping you are actually tightening the noose. Because once you see the mechanism, you can't unsee it, and the mechanism is called efficiency. Efficiency is a predator. It wears the mask of a friend. It promises you freedom, but it only delivers volume. Think about the washing machine. Before it existed, laundry was a day-long ordeal, a physical war against dirt. Once the clothes were hung, you were finished. Then came the machine. It saved you hours, but did you use those hours to sit in the sun, to contemplate the void? No, you raised your standards. Now you wash your clothes after one wear, you wash the curtains, you wash the rugs. The machine didn't give you time back. It just increased the amount of laundry expected of you. This is the efficiency trap. It's a law of physics for the soul. Work expands to fill the space you give it. In the corporate world, they call this induced demand. It's what happens when a city builds a bigger highway to stop traffic jams. Your life is that highway. Your apps, your high-speed internet, your microwave, they are just extra lanes, and you. You are the car, wondering why you're still stuck in a crawl. Let's dissect your digital leash, the email, the instant message. In the age of paper, a letter took days to arrive. You wrote it, you sent it. You forgot about it for a week. There was a natural latency, a buffer your brain could reset. Now the latency is zero, communication is instantaneous. This doesn't mean you spend less time talking, it means people expect more answers. If a client sends an email at 2:00 p.m., they expect a heartbeat by 2:05 p.m. Because the technology is fast, you are expected to be fast. You have become a biological extension of the processor, you aren't using the tool. The tool is using your nervous system to maintain its own uptime. Consider the micro moment. This is where time goes to die. In the old world, waiting for a bus was dead time. You stared at a wall, you watched a bird. Your brain entered a state called the default mode network. It's a fancy term for daydreaming. But now there is no dead time. You have a smartphone. You fill every 10-second gap with a scroll, a swipe, a bit of content. You think you're being productive. You think you're using the time. You aren't. You're just denying your brain the chance to breathe. You are stacking bricks on a foundation that hasn't dried yet. We have traded depth for frequency. You do 1,000 tiny things poorly instead of one big thing well. This creates a psychological phenomenon called time fragmentation. It's like a mirror that has been shattered into a million pieces. You can still see your reflection, but it's jagged, distorted, unrecognizable. When your day is broken into 5-minute intervals of efficiency, you lose the ability to feel the flow of time. Everything becomes a blur of next. Think about the to-do list, the modern scroll of shame. Our ancestors had a to-done list: kill the animal, eat the animal. Survival was a series of closed loops. You finish things. Today, you never finish. Your work is digital, it's abstract, it lives in the cloud, it is infinite. You can always tweak the spreadsheet. You can always send one more follow-up. You can always research one more thing. There is no natural sunset on your labor. The sun stays up as long as your screen is glowing. This lack of an end creates a permanent state of low-level panic. It's the feeling of a hunter who is being chased by a predator that never sleeps. This isn't just a work problem, it has bled into your soul. Even your hobbies are now tasks. You don't just go for a run, you track your pace. You monitor your heart rate. You upload the data to a map so others can validate your existence. You have optimized the joy right out of your own skin. If it can't be measured, it doesn't count. If it doesn't count, it's a waste of time. And in the cult of efficiency, wasting time is the only sin. But here is the coldest truth of all. You aren't just a victim of the system, you are an addict. You have been conditioned to crave the friction. You have been taught that if you aren't busy, you are falling behind. If you aren't busy, you are invisible. We have turned overwhelmed into a status symbol. It's a way of telling the world that we are important, that we are needed, that we are moving so fast the world can barely keep up. We are terrified of the silence, because in the silence, we have to face the fact that the speed doesn't actually lead anywhere. It's a treadmill. A high-tech, polished, expensive treadmill. You are running harder than any generation before you, but the scenery hasn't changed. You're still in the same room, you're still the same person, only now you're exhausted. You think the solution is more time. You think if you just had an extra 4 hours a day, you'd finally relax. You wouldn't. You'd just fill those 4 hours with more efficiency. You'd find more lanes for your highway. The problem isn't the clock, it's the ghost in the machine. It's the way your brain perceives the very idea of a second. We need to talk about the horizon. Our ancestors lived with a visible horizon. They knew where the world ended for the day. You live in a world of infinite horizons. Every click is a new door. Every notification is a new world. The brain cannot find its footing in infinity. It just keeps reaching and reaching until the hand cramps. But what happens when the reaching becomes the only thing we know? What happens when we lose the ability to even recognize enough? To find that answer, we have to look at the tribe. We have to look at how we use our exhaustion to prove we belong. You think you want more time, you're wrong, you're terrified of it. When the Wi-Fi cuts out, when the flight is delayed and your phone is dead, you don't bask in the peace, you panic, you twitch. You reach for a ghost in your pocket. This is the twist. Busyness isn't a burden, it's a shield. In the ancient world, being busy meant you were surviving. If you were moving, you were breathing. If you were still, you were likely being hunted or starving. Our brains are hardwired to associate doing with safety, but in a world where survival is mostly a given, that instinct has mutated. We have repurposed the survival itch into a social armor. We use the noise of our lives to drown out the silence of our own insignificance. If you stop moving, you have to think. If you have to think, you have to look at the reality of your life. You have to face the fact that most of what you do doesn't matter, the reports, the emails, the social media post about your lunch. In the grand sweep of time, it's dust. That's a heavy realization, it's a cold one, so you hide from it, you fill the silence with productivity. You create a storm of trivial tasks so you can feel like a hero for surviving the wind. We have created a culture where exhaustion is a status symbol, it's the new gold watch. When someone asks how you are, and you say so busy, what you're really saying is I am important, I am in demand, my time is worth something. To be free is to be irrelevant, to be available is to be a loser. We are caught in a competitive arms race of simulated importance. We are working ourselves into a frenzy not because the work needs to be done, but because we are afraid of what we are without the work. Think about the busy brag. It's a subtle ritual. You sigh about how late you stayed at the office. You show off the bags under your eyes like they are medals of honor. You are signaling to the tribe that you are a high-value asset. We are mimicking the frantic energy of a successful hunt, but we're doing it inside a cubicle, hunting for things that don't provide any actual calories. There's a concept in psychology called the Zeigarnik effect. It's a fancy way of saying your brain hates an unfinished loop. It holds onto uncompleted tasks like a dog holds a bone. In the past, those loops were simple. Today, your life is a graveyard of open loops. Every browser tab is a promise you haven't kept. Every unread message is a debt. You feel busy because your brain is trying to process 1,000 open loops at once. It's like a computer with too many programs running in the background. The processor is hot, the fan is spinning, but the screen is frozen. You aren't busy because your life is full. You are busy because your mind is cluttered with the ghosts of things you feel you should be doing. The should is the most ruthless dictator in history. It doesn't care about your health. It doesn't care about your happiness. It only cares about the expectation. We have been sold the idea that we can have it all. That's the ultimate trap. Having it all just means doing it all. And doing it all means you are never fully present anywhere. You are a ghost haunting your own life. You are at dinner thinking about work. You are at work thinking about the gym. You are at the gym thinking about sleep. You are everywhere and nowhere. You have achieved total efficiency at the cost of your soul. But here is the most uncomfortable truth. The system loves your busyness. A busy person is a consuming person. A busy person doesn't have time to cook, so they buy processed calories. A busy person doesn't have time to think, so they buy pre-packaged opinions. A busy person is too tired to resist, too distracted to notice, and too overwhelmed to change. Your exhaustion is a billion-dollar industry. You aren't the driver of this machine, you are the fuel, and the machine is designed to burn you until there's nothing left but ash. But why does this feel so permanent? Why can't we just stop? Because the paradox has a final, darker layer. It's not just about what we're doing. It's about how we've been trained to see the very fabric of reality. We need to look at the acceleration, the moment when the speed itself becomes the destination. Time is no longer a river, it is a factory floor. We have commodified the very air we breathe between heartbeats. To the system, an empty hour is a defect. It is a waste of resources. It fills the void with content, with commerce, with the quiet violence of expectation. You spend time, you save time, you waste time, you are using the language of accounting, you have turned your life into a ledger. This is the dark philosophy of the modern era. A life is only as valuable as its output. If you aren't producing, you are depreciating, like a car. Like a laptop, like a piece of meat. This is why you feel busy even when you're sitting on your couch. Your internal accountant is screaming at you because the return on investment for your afternoon is zero. We have entered the era of the accelerated self. In the past, people were defined by who they were, their family, their land, their faith. Today, you are defined by your velocity. How fast can you respond? How quickly can you pivot? How many roles can you play simultaneously? You are trying to live 10 lives at once. No wonder the clock feels like it's melting. You are stretching the fabric of your identity so thin that it's starting to tear. This is the systemic failure. We built a world for efficiency, but we forgot that humans aren't efficient. We are messy, we are slow, we need time to mope. We need time to stare at walls, we need time to do absolutely nothing. But the system doesn't have a nothing setting. If you aren't clicking, you aren't generating data. If you aren't generating data, you are a ghost in the machine, so the machine prompts you, it pings you, it reminds you of what you're missing. It keeps you in a state of permanent beta, always updating, never finished. We have lost the ability to experience duration. This is a heavy word for a simple thing, the feeling of time passing. When you watch a slow movie or read a long book, you get restless. Your brain is used to the hit, the quick cut, the 15-second loop. Your dopamine receptors have been fried by speed. Now, anything that moves at the pace of nature feels like a chore. You have been conditioned to hate the very thing you claim to want, peace. Peace feels like boredom, and boredom to a modern brain feels like death. This is the Chronos Paradox in its purest form. By trying to save time, we have ruined our ability to inhabit it. We have more of it than ever, but it's thin time, it's low-quality time. It's the difference between eating a nutritious meal and eating a bag of candy. Look at your city, look at the lights, they never go out. We have conquered the night, we have deleted the seasons. We live in a perpetual now where everything is available all the time. This sounds like a miracle. It is actually a nightmare. Without the no, the yes loses its meaning. Without the wait, the arrival feels empty. We have removed the friction of life, and in doing so, we have lost our grip. We are sliding, accelerating. We tell ourselves that the next big thing will fix it, the next app, the next promotion, the next vacation. We are always looking for the exit. But the exit is the one thing we refuse to look at, because the only way to stop the clock is to stop the game. And we are terrified of what happens when the music stops and we find ourselves standing alone in the dark. It's about the person you see in the mirror when you're brushing your teeth at 11 p.m., exhausted and hollow. It's about the choice you make every single morning. Because the trap isn't just out there in the world. The trap is inside the way you think about your own worth. So here you are, at the end of another video, another few minutes of your life spent in the pursuit of understanding why you have no life left to spend. You will close this tab, you will feel a brief flicker of clarity. Then the pings will start, the shoulds will gather at your door like hungry ghosts. You'll go back to the sprint, you'll go back to the cage. Because the truth is too heavy to carry for long, you aren't a victim of a busy world, you are the architect of your own overwhelm. You choose the speed because the alternative is the silence. And the silence is where you have to answer for what you've done with your years. You are running to stay ahead of a debt that can never be paid. You are trading your heartbeat for a metric. The Chronos Paradox doesn't end because you understand it. It ends when you stop trying to win, but you won't stop, you can't, you're too busy. The clock is ticking, your next task is waiting, and so is the next layer of the trap. We've talked about how you lose your time. Next, we need to talk about how you lost your mind. If you think your schedule is crowded, wait until we look at your identity. Would you like to see how many people are living inside your head, pretending to be you?